devān bhāvayatānena te devā bhāvayantu vah parasparaṁ bhāvayantaḥ śhreyaḥ param avāpsyatha. In this verse, Krishna explains a reciprocal relationship between humans and the divine. When people perform sacrifices, they support and honor the gods. In turn, the gods will support and bless them. Krishna emphasizes the mutual benefit of this relationship. By working together and supporting one another, both humans and gods will attain the highest form of good. This verse highlights the idea of harmony and cooperation between people and the divine, showing how mutual support leads to overall well-being and spiritual success. Ishtan bhogan hivo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaah tairdattan pradavyebhyo yo bhungte stena eva saha. In this verse, Krishna explains the importance of giving back to the gods. When people perform sacrifices, the gods provide them with desired pleasures and blessings. However, if someone enjoys these benefits without making their own offerings or contributions, they are considered a thief. Krishna is teaching that sharing and reciprocating with gratitude is essential. The verse underscores the importance of not just receiving blessings but also contributing to the greater good through acts of service and sacrifice. This creates a cycle of support and harmony between humans and the divine. Yajnashishtashinas santo muchyante sarvakilvishahi bhunjante tvagam papa ye pachantyatmakaranat. In this verse, Krishna explains that people who eat the leftover food from sacrifices are free from sins. This is because they participate in a cycle of giving and receiving which purifies them. On the other hand, those who cook only for themselves without offering any part to others or to the divine are considered sinful. They are seen as selfish and their actions do not contribute to the greater good. This verse highlights the importance of selfless actions and sharing, showing that participating in acts of service and sacrifice purifies and benefits both the giver and the receiver. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavah yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajnat karma samudbhavah. In this verse, Krishna explains the interconnected cycle of sustenance. He says that food, which sustains all living beings, is produced by rain. Rain in turn comes from sacrifices, and these sacrifices come from performing one's duties. This verse highlights how everything is linked. Our sustenance depends on a cycle of giving and action. By understanding this, Krishna encourages Arjuna to perform his duties and sacrifices selflessly, which in turn supports the greater cycle of life and sustenance. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. In this verse, Krishna explains that all actions are rooted in the divine essence, known as Brahman. This divine principle is eternal and never perishes. Therefore, every sacrifice or selfless act is connected to this divine essence. Krishna is highlighting that by performing sacrifices and duties, we align ourselves with the eternal divine principle. This reinforces the idea that our actions, when done selflessly and with the right intention, are part of a greater divine order and contribute to our spiritual growth. Evam pravartitai chakran nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramo mogham partha sajivati. In this verse, Krishna explains that those who do not follow the divine order and instead focus only on their own pleasures and desires live a life that is considered sinful and wasted. The wheel here refers to the natural and divine order of selfless actions and duties. Krishna is warning Arjuna that ignoring this divine order and living selfishly will lead to an unfulfilling and ultimately wasted life. By following the divine order and performing one's duties selflessly, one aligns with a greater purpose and leads a meaningful life. Yastvatmaratireva syad atmatriptasya manavah atmanyevacha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate. In this verse, Krishna describes a person who is fully content and happy within themselves, finding joy in their own being. Such a person is self-sufficient and does not feel the need for external actions or duties to achieve happiness. Krishna is highlighting that true fulfillment comes from within. When someone is satisfied and content with themselves, they are free from the pressures of performing duties for personal gain or approval. This person lives a life of inner peace and joy, as they have found their ultimate satisfaction in their own self. Naiva tasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu In this verse, Krishna explains that a person who is truly content and self-sufficient does not rely on their actions for personal gain or fear any loss from inaction. They are independent of external factors and do not depend on others or external results for their happiness or needs. Krishna is highlighting that such a person is free from attachment and dependence. They are unaffected by success or failure, as they have achieved inner fulfillment and self-sufficiency. This state of being reflects true freedom and peace. Tasmadasaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto yacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. In this verse, Krishna advises Arjuna to perform his duties without being attached to the outcomes. He emphasizes that one should act selflessly, focusing on their responsibilities without worrying about success or failure. Krishna explains that by practicing this selfless approach, a person can achieve the highest state of fulfillment and spiritual growth. This means that performing one's duties with dedication and without attachment leads to ultimate success and inner peace. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha lokasangrahamevapi samprashyan kartumarhasi. In this verse, Krishna points out that great figures like King Janaka reached their highest state through their selfless actions. He advises Arjuna to perform his duties not just for personal gain but with the aim of benefiting the whole world. Krishna emphasizes the importance of acting with a sense of responsibility towards society. By focusing on the greater good and contributing to the welfare of others, one can achieve true success and spiritual fulfillment.